Welcome to Sportswire Spotlight. I'm Will Catterley, joined as always by Dylan Garner. This episode, we are at Glen Allen High School talking everything field hockey because this team has it going on right now. Joining me are two of the big reasons why. To my left, senior captain Allie Von Herbulis, and her head coach, Jennifer Miller. Guys, appreciate you being part of the Sportswire Spotlight today.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
Yeah, thank you.
We're excited.
What a roll. 11-1,
Yeah.
and you started off 0-1, and so that means, if you're doing the math at home, 11 straight victories. Allie, let's start with you because you've been part of this program the whole way now as a senior captain. What's been the difference for you guys so far this season?
I think the chemistry, all of our team is very close together. We all hang out outside of school. The communication is on point. We're all very close, which helps a lot on the field. And then also just I don't know, we do a lot of bonding things, which I think is really fun for all of us. And we've at team dinners, we've talked about it, and the communication has really been what's helped us the most, I think.
All right, everybody has bonding things that are, what's yours? Because everyone's different.
Oh, okay. I think for me, it's the braiding of hair before the games. It's an hour and a half
Dylan
long
and I will do that too.
process.
Yeah,
Sometimes.
tell
We
me
do
you
that
coach a
before every
girls team.
podcast.
Yeah.
Every podcast, we braid our hair.
Yeah.
So, okay.
It's an hour and a half process, for everyone to get their hair done, the chit chat before, oh, I'm nervous, what song are you listening to? It's amazing. I love it. It's my favorite part.
The only bad thing about that is say you're late to a game or something, you don't have your hair braided. Is that going to affect your performance
Yes.
moving forward? Do you think
Yeah.
it will?
Superstition. No.
Yeah.
Easy, yes.
I'm the most
Instantaneous.
superstitious person
Yeah.
you'll ever meet. My hair, the same amount of bubbles every single time. The braids have to be perfect.
So I have a question for Coach after this, but this is a question I really like to ask athletes. What is your biggest athlete superstition? Is there something that you have to do every single game that you haven't broken from this for years and you've done, or you can't talk about something? Is there anything like that locked in your brain like that?
My hair.
It
It's gotta
is just
be
your
my hair.
Wow. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
She's not lying.
My hair, I've always done the two braids and the bubbles. And then if I hit post on a shot, this is a whole team thing since I've been 8th grade, we drop our sticks.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Drop your stick, pick it up really quick. But after every single time, if you hit the post, you have to do it.
Yeah, my sister plays lacrosse and they do the same thing
Yeah.
after every single goal. So that must just be something
It's
that
a thing.
transcends field hockey and lacrosse. Coach, I wanted to kind of take that same question back to you. You've been here now for a little while, and this is probably the best success, at least at this stage in the season, that you've enjoyed since you've been here. What are the things that you've seen that kind of lead to this type of run, especially like you said, you lose the first game of the season and then you've just been crazy since then. What leads to something like that?
Yeah, I think Allie was 100% correct. The chemistry, it's something that I don't take for granted. It's something I can't coach with these girls. So having that relationship, I can try to force it with team bonding drills. On top of hair braiding, yeah. We just do a lot of things together, as far as I make my girls JV and varsity ride the bus for away games together. There's no one gets a ride home. We don't drive separately. Little things like that. The attention to detail makes a difference, I think, in how we play. So forcing these times together just makes it a little bit easier. Again, on and off the field, I can't coach the presence and the chemistry, but if I can build that by having us together more, that's my goal. I've got 12 seniors this year, which is insane.
Wow, that's helpful.
So it's been helpful in that sense. Yeah, they've been playing together since 8th grade or 9th grade. So it's been awesome to watch them grow and come up here at this level. And I don't want to take for granted that the fact that they've all played together for at least 2 years with me on varsity, if not more.
When you talk sports, everybody, regardless of the sport, everyone has a role. The quarterback is a quarterback, defensive end is a defensive end. And same thing in field hockey. You've got midfielders, you've got defenders, you've got your keeper. Does a tremendous job, by the way. You got your goal scorers. But Allie, when I look at your stats, and all you have to do is look at X, formerly known as Twitter, and you guys do a nice job of saying so-and-so scored assisted by Von Herbulis. So-and-so, score, or Von Herbulis scores assisted by somebody else. When I see your game, Allie, I can't differentiate between goals and assists. It seems like you're doing both game in, game out. Tell me a little bit about that.
I don't know. The forwards that I play with make it really easy to connect with, and also my midfielder. Rowan plays right behind me. I've played with her 3 years on varsity now. I absolutely love her. We connect really well together. And then Kenzie Battle plays on the left, one of my best friends. we just work really well together. So connecting the ball, passing to each other is something that comes really natural to both of us, I would think. And then penalty corners, we score a lot on penalty corners, which has been a change this season. So,
well, I think as an athlete for you, what I've noticed is you're not like selfish in the sense of, yeah, you want to score goals, but that's not what your job is to do. And like, you're not going to take the best shot because you want to be the one with the goal. You want to do what's best for the team. And if that's passing the ball to get a goal for our team, that's where your assists have been coming in and ranking. So I think like you see the big picture as we're a team, we play together, we win together, not how many goals did Allie score. And that's something that's such a good athlete and leader to have in your team and part of the team.
And you've
It's made such a difference.
Right. And when I look at you guys, you've won in a lot of different ways. You've won close games. You've won by one goal. You've blown teams out when you've been able to do both. So being able to win both ways has got to be a huge plus for you guys moving forward, especially when you only have a couple games left before the postseason. But we'll get back to field hockey. I want to talk about off the field as well, because Allie, my goodness, you're busy. You're the club president of a variety of different activities and a variety of different organizations. Tell me about what you do beyond scoring and getting assists and braiding girls' hair on the field, because it's a lot.
Outside of school, I spend a lot of time doing like actual schoolwork, but I also spend a lot of time like with my siblings, hanging out with them, going to like their games and practices, and like just like spending quality time with them has always been something that's like really important to all of my family. So I spend a lot of time doing that. And then I don't know, I really enjoy just like doing simple things, like watching sunsets is like probably one of my favorite things, which is like I don't know, everyone's like, oh, that's boring, but like
Not lately. We just had the
was
largest
beautiful.
harvest moon of
we
the
saw
year.
at our game. It was so
And
pretty.
it was out the other night.
The Aurora Borealis was
Yes,
crazy. That
yes.
was
Northern Lights
crazy.
were
I've
down
seen
here.
them twice now.
We've been taking pictures.
It's like,
yeah.
what? I didn't even know that could happen here.
Me neither.
Who doesn't love astronomy? I mean, it's amazing. But beyond the stars, just in the walls of this school, you do a lot of work. Tell me about it.
I don't know. I take like AP classes, honors classes. I'm in National Honor Society and Mu Alpha Theta, which is like a math National Honor Society. And then in Miller's classroom, I spend a lot of time. Like I've gone for since
3 years since freshman year.
And she's got a cold, so bear with us.
Yeah.
It's okay.
I've gone since freshman year, and I've tutored. Miller teaches a class with special needs students, and I've gone since freshman year to help tutor them. And even like the kids who aren't in her class anymore, I like hang out with them in the hallways. Like they'll say hi to me. They'll like text me when they need help. Like I absolutely love it. That's one of my favorite things.
Yeah, you've built those relationships.
Yeah.
How important, coaches? I mean, obviously, in any class, having tutors helps. You know, especially when it's a tough class like math. I don't have the brain power to be part of a National Honor Society in math. But to go an extra step further, exceptional education students, what does it mean to have someone like Allie come in and make a difference in their lives, not just at the academic level, but also probably at the social level as well?
Yeah, socially, I mean, the patience you have. I feel like our girls are gonna be like, "What, Allie?" Like different side. Yeah, I know, because we're different in the game. I say Coach Miller and Miss Miller are two different people when you put those hats on, and I can definitely see it in the classroom. But not only are you a leader on the field, it definitely like is portrayed off the field in the classrooms, where I don't have to kind of direct you with instruction as far as like, hey, can you help with this kid? Like I might say, go work with this kid for a little bit, but like you take the extra step by getting to know them and building a relationship. And the fact that they come to you now, their junior year, because you worked with them since freshman year, and still want to meet with you and hang out with you and get help from you. Like you've built relationships with students who typically who struggle with forming relationships, and it's not easy. And you make them feel welcome just by inviting them to sit at your table at lunch. Like that's amazing. And I didn't ask you to do that. So that's just such a good selfless character, who you are. And I think it's great. And I wish we had more of you. I could always use the help in my class too. I'll take anything.
I wonder,
Right.
there's actually a really great timing. So yesterday was Challenger Day in Henrico, which this is more on the elementary level, but I wanted to shout out a lot of other Glen Allen students that were here because they actually volunteered.
They did.
To help out a lot of these kids with special needs or disabilities that were basically learning baseball and playing sports and stuff, which is another, again, in the same boat. Lots of kids helping other kids feel like embraced, included, and obviously there's a high schoolers helping younger kids, but that type of connection can't be understated, especially when you're talking about, a small kid learning that stuff and being out there with, Glen Allen high schoolers. So I love hearing all of those stories, and I'm glad that that connection exists here, even high schooler to high schooler, that support and, friendship too. So.
It's so much more than just the content. Like, I feel like I could pull anybody in. I could do it myself and teach them math. But for you to come in and not only teach the content and help them by tutoring, you're building the relationships and getting to know them and forming a bond with these students that makes them feel so unique and special. That's extra. You've gone above and beyond what I asked you to do, which I appreciate.
Well, it's cool hearing these stories, but I mean, to me, it's always a question. It's one very simple question, which is why? Because, when I was in high school, I had my circle of friends, right? And that was it. Like, it's not that I wasn't friendly to other people. I was. But I had my own things to worry about. You got your own stuff to worry about. You're committed to Mary Washington, right? You are an first team all region for the last 2 years in field hockey. You're pretty much what makes Glen Allen, besides your teammates, you're a big factor in what makes you guys go.
You've been our captain for 2 years. That's unheard of.
Yeah, usually that'll flip over, right, Coach? I mean, but my point is, you've got enough stuff to worry about. Grades, you're worried about school, you're worried about scholarships, you're doing all the paperwork on that. You don't need to do this extra stuff. You don't need to tutor special needs kids. You don't need to be president of the Sunset Club. You don't need to be, part of honors fraternity for math. Why do you do all this?
I think that it's more of like seeing what other people get out of it. Like seeing like the smiles on the kids' faces when I tutor them. Like they write me Christmas cards, and like for Thanksgiving they write me cards, and Valentine's Day. Like seeing like the effect that it has on other people. And like for the Sunset Club, we've done the 5K for this is going to be the 3rd year, and like seeing people's faces like when they get to actually do it, and like the fun that it brings when we bring people together, that's what like means a lot to me, is like as I would want someone to do the same thing for me. So like doing it for them makes me feel like, I don't know, better about it.
And getting the cards is like a physical, tangible way of looking at this and being like, what I do for these other kids matter. It matters to them. Was there a moment or like a signature moment where you were like, the light bulb just kind of went off and like, what I do makes a difference to somebody at some time, and I may not even know it at that particular time?
So sophomore year, I think I was working with a kid named Javon, who he was like very shy, quiet, like the sweetest little thing, but he would never ask for help. But I would always like go up to him and like, hey, do you want some help? And then I think it was like Christmas, he made me a card, and it was like the most heartfelt card I've ever seen. And he like told me like how much I mean to him, and like how much it's helped him, and like how he's come like so far with his math, and like how he's getting moved to a different class next year, and how he was so excited. And for me, that was like, oh wow, like this actually is making a difference, and it like actually is really helping him. And then I was like, yeah, I want to continue doing this, and I want to continue to help people.
That's awesome.
I actually have a small connection to Glen Allen field hockey. So my cousin's daughter is Allie Gregory, who was your goalkeeper here
I was
a couple years ago.
texting her the other day, getting the full scoop. I said, tell me how, like, I just love to keep in contact with them, my alum, and they come to my games. If they were on the field yesterday, we did alumni picks. They just show up and surprise me, and it's the greatest thing. But yeah, I was texting Allie the other day. She was filling me in with how her field hockey career
I think
is
she's
going.
still at Delphi.
Yeah.
So
she got in a game, I think last game,
nice.
a couple games ago.
Cool. I've played field hockey with Allie since I was like 5. Like my first ever game of field hockey was with Allie Gregory.
That's really, really cool.
I remember covering her a lot too.
Yes.
And I know her dad is still, I guess, one of your referees at
he
some of these
reffed our
games.
game the other night.
How does he do, by the way?
Yeah, I was about to say, grade him now because he will watch this.
No, he was great. Yeah. It's so funny.
Of course you're going to say that.
No, he was. I love it. I'm friendly with all of the refs, and I think it's fun to just have that relationship. And I don't know, it was good. And just to have him, he used to be our announcer. I mean, Allie played also for 5 years for me. So like, it's not just the players that are a part of my team. It's the families and parents too. It's really such a village that they get involved with everything, and I love it.
A+ marks for the Gregories. Then.
Yes,
so I'm glad
they're the best.
I wanted to
They've
sneak
watched
that
my
in.
dog before, so like we're real close.
But one question I wanted to ask, and I know maybe the family connection plays a part in this.
Yeah.
Like with Allie, I'm like, how does someone break through? With her, in her case, she was a goalkeeper, and like that's kind of its own niche in that sport. But
For sure.
how do you break through in a sport like field hockey? Because sometimes it comes from maybe, I excelled at a different sport and wanted to try this, or someone else did this and brought me over. What was your kind of like entry point for field hockey, and why was that the one that took off?
So my older sister started playing field hockey, and then she played for like maybe 3 weeks, and I went to her first game, and I was like, Mom, sign me up. Like, I want to play.
Yeah.
And then like the next week I was playing. Like I've always stuck with it. I played softball up until freshman year, and field hockey is just like taken off. It's always been my thing.
Yeah, and you got quite a bit of family playing field hockey and other things, right? Is
Yeah.
there 4 siblings, is that right?
Yeah, 4.
Yeah. Where did you guys start off at the Y? Everyone, they're like little babies.
So Kendall played at the Y
Yeah.
for her first season, and then we played for Hanover Hot Shots.
Oh my god.
Hanover.
Hanover Hot
Yeah.
Shots.
It's amazing because, this is like year 17 or 18 for me. So I remember when field hockey didn't exist. It was
Right.
only a club level.
Yeah.
And to see the way this sport's taken off across the county and across the region, like I remember the first like playoff matchups I saw, and I was like, whoa, okay, these teams from the north and 757 have been doing this a little longer.
Yeah.
It's going to be a while before the county catches up. Where do you think we stand in the world of field hockey in Henrico County, Coach?
Yeah.
Compared now to where it used to be at the
Where it
beginning?
used to be is insane. The fact that we have not just one like club team outside of the high school level, there's multiple now. So you have options, and there's there's clinics and pickup games, and there's things that we can get these kids in the community out and exposed to at elementary level, where most of the time in the very beginning we just had players walking on like, what is this sport? I'll give it a try. And we're teaching fundamentals day one, where now it's like, oh my gosh, I've got maybe half the team coming in having experience or at least exposure to the sport. It's very different than my experience. I am actually from New Jersey, so I grew up playing at 10 years old.
Right.
Yeah.
And then we had a freshman team, a JV team, and a varsity team. And I remember like we would walk on, and if you walked on for tryouts day one, having never played, you're not making the team.
Mm-hmm.
Where it's a little different here, but I still think the growth of Henrico County, even Virginia, is so amazing. And even people coming out and watching our games, usually we just get our lovely supportive parents we love, but just to have more questioning, what is this sport? What is this game? Why are there so many whistles? It's
Right.
great. Come check it out. So I think we're selling it a little bit more.
I'm still learning
Which is
some of the
fun.
rules. I know
Me
when it goes
too.
off the foot, it's a foul. And
Me
then there's
too,
the
me too.
5-yard rule.
Yes.
that-
Yes.
When in doubt, when I'm
Whistle it
watching,
Yeah.
well, I just say, just yell, let them play.
Yeah,
And then,
right.
that's when I'm watching lacrosse and field hockey, that's my MO as a spectator.
You
Just
might
let
hear
'em
me
play.
yelling that. I'm
Yeah.
saying, yeah. Come on. Let them play.
So being one of 4 siblings, I thought the answer to the question that I asked you earlier about why do you do all this stuff is
Yeah.
because you're a middle child, so you have to be noticed. I'm joking. That's what some of like
Middle
the
child syndrome.
the
Yeah.
philosophers would say from a long time ago. They would say
Yes.
that.
Well, you're getting noticed, girl.
Coach, you've obviously coached lots of different attitudes.
Yeah.
Right. I mean,
Yeah.
and you don't have to go through all of it, but you obviously, I've coached somebody like, oh my gosh, this girl's got to be a diva. This girl, but Allie is authentic. And what does it mean to have not just a captain, not just a talented player, but someone who is authentic, being part of that core group to really lead the team and show leadership?
Yeah, for sure. We all have our diva moments. That's what you get when you coach 40 girls. Every day is different. But
Only
she's-
when their hair is not.
I know the hair's got to be braided first. But just like the consistency as far as like you're just like a go-getter. So it's always been effortless for me and you. I feel like anytime I needed something communicated, it's no problem. Like she just steps up before you were even captain 8th grade year. We're like, whoa, who is this girl? It's like just taking leadership as far as like working with players who have never played before and giving them little tips here and there on the field, off the field. It's just things that I don't need to see or ask her to do. She just voluntarily does it is, I think, huge and such a strong leadership skill that supports me and the team and yourself. And just like Joe Vaughn, our student, noticed and like doesn't have to say, or maybe he didn't say to you right away, like how much of an impact you left or the mark you've left on him. Like the same thing happens with our girls on the field. You might not hear it every day. You might hear it every day, but the growth that we've had in the 4 years of you being here, 2 years of you being a captain, it's just the little things as far as having the communication, being transparent. I think between me and you, if I need to say something to the team, they might go in one ear, out the other, you know, it's just me. But if you say it, it's different. So you're like my eyes and ears on the field, off the field, and kind of keep me connected to the team in other ways that maybe just being the coach is kind of difficult or sets like a little bit of a line.
Allie, you don't strike me as someone being angry though. Like if one of your teammates does something like wrong and you've told her like 3 times or whatever, like don't do that. You shouldn't pass it into the middle of the field on our end of the field when they're on the attack. What's your angry face? Do you have one?
Oh, I don't know. I feel like
I mean, you've
just
lost
have
your
like
voice, so I feel
I was
like you
gonna
might
say,
have
we
read
can't-
That
something.
might be why her
assume-
voice
yeah,
is gone.
She was screaming at
You
people.
don't seem like a mad person, is what I.
She lost her voice for a reason. No,
No. Me
No.
on the field and me off the field are like, I think are like 2 very different people. Like when
Yeah.
I'm on the field, I'm very serious. Like it's very like, it's happening this way. Like we need to get things done. And then like off the field, I'm very like, oh, laughing, joking. Like we'll have fun with you. But like in games, in practices, I'm very like,
Yeah.
The,
Talking,
the
like-
braids are all business.
Yeah.
Don't mess,
Braids are-
don't mess
Yeah.
with Von Herbulus on the field.
Yeah.
Yeah, and sometimes before I can even get a word out, like, okay, girls, we got to lock in. Like, she's already said it, and like just giving the team a look, and they know. So we check each other.
Well, you guys have been locked in, like I said, 11
Yeah.
and 1, 11 straight wins. I'm really interested, and I kind of want to get your take on this before we start wrapping things up here. You got like just a couple of games left before postseason.
Right.
You and Freeman are in different classifications, so it's not
Yeah.
going to matter what happens on the last game of the regular season. But Freeman's undefeated, and I've seen Freeman absolutely beat the heck out of the Wildcats. He
Yeah.
beat by 1 goal the other night.
I know.
And I'm like, this is a measuring stick game for both programs. But I'm also thinking, whatever happens, it can only be good because you have to be playing playoff level field hockey before you're in the playoffs on that last
Exactly.
regular season game. How excited? I know you got a couple matches before, but how
Yeah.
excited are you for both you guys for that matchup with Freeman coming up?
I'm excited. The competition is going to be fun. I always love when it's a good, like, ability level game. It just makes it fun and interesting. It gives me gray hair for sure with the stress.
I don't see it.
Thank God for hair dye. But it's just fun. And I have a good relationship with Cassie, the coach over there. So it's always fun to just play against a team that is enjoyable to play against and provides good competition. They make us work harder, which in turn betters us. And I think it's just fun to play at a level of a fun competition that hopefully, works in our favor. Just saying. Yeah.
Allie, how far can you guys go?
I hope we go all the way. We'll see though.
States.
I think the future is pretty good for us if we keep playing
Yeah.
the way that we've been playing, knock on wood. But I'm excited for the Freeman game. I think that it'll be really good for us, and it'll be like good to get back into just like really good competition before we hit playoffs.
Rapid fire. We're almost at Halloween because we were talking Halloween earlier.
Oh, yeah.
So just both of you guys, candy corn, yes, no.
Ugh,
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Oh.
What?
Yeah.
Wait, you are a candy corn fan.
Oh, I love candy corn, especially the pumpkin ones.
Oh my God.
See, if I eat like 3 of them, I start to feel like nauseous. I don't know what it is. I don't feel bad with sugar, but candy corn, just like I can't do it anymore.
Worst horror movie you ever watched?
Okay, so I don't watch horror
Like
Me
horror
neither.
movies? You don't
It's
watch them at
scary.
all?
No.
No,
I
I
can't
won't
even watch
sleep.
the commercials. I got to change the channel.
How about costume plans?
Oh, yeah. What do you
Oh,
want?
I'm doing Aquamarine. Have you guys ever seen the Mermaid movie?
Oh, that's good.
She's like a blonde.
You're
Well, it's
JoJo.
not a horror movie, so no.
No.
What is Aquamarine? Give me a synopsis.
She's a
quick plot.
mermaid.
It's like a mermaid who like got washed up in a storm
Of
and
course
then
she
like
did. That's overplayed.
lives on land.
It's like Ariel. Yeah.
But then her like dad calls her back through her earrings, and it's the most amazing movie.
through
Is this like
through
Disney
her
Channel?
earrings.
Yeah, they're like
Yes.
little starfish.
So basically, they stole this from the Little Mermaid, try to make their
Yes.
own movie out of it. It's like a B-rated flick.
Yes. And it's going to be great.
It's
Yes.
great though.
We do
Everybody
a
watch that at
dress up
home.
practice. So maybe you can be Aquamarine. So yeah, it's our tradition.
You need your
we
legs,
have a
though.
Halloween
How you
dress
gonna be
up.
a mermaid
Okay.
and
I
play
know.
field hockey?
I think we have a trio costume in the mix.
You do?
We'll see.
I know the girls are already planning. It's our little tradition, and we all dress up, and then we vote on it. We have a competition It's a lot of fun.
That would be
All right,
good.
craziest costume you've worn, Coach.
A couple years ago, me and my other coach dressed up as big giant babies and then put posters of all of the comments that they would say, and we called ourselves the Glen Allen Crybabies.
That's really good.
Because they complained
that's
about running and doing hits and work.
that's
So
good.
we gave it back to them a little bit.
Nice.
We were
That's pretty
crybabies.
funny.
That was a good one. I was proud of myself.
Awesome. 11-1. They are on their way to the postseason. They got a big one coming up with Douglas Freeman. You guys do. Mary Washington, just finishing things up here. Allie, why Mary Washington? What attracted you to that school?
It was one of the visits that I went on a visit there. I went on an overnight, and it was the only visit and overnight that I felt like I got there and I was like, oh, I want to go here. Like the team, the coaches, the environment, like everyone around me, the girls that I went on the visit with, they were all so sweet and like made me feel at home. I was like, yes, I want to go here. I remember getting in the car after my visit and was like, Dad, I want to go here. Like, we have to go walk around campus. I want to show you everything because I'm going to go here.
Anything you're worried about going to college? My daughter just went, so like.
I'm worried about being away from my mom and my dad. We're really close, so I'm a little bit nervous, but it's only an hour, so it'll be fine.
Yeah.
They'll come watch.
Yeah,
That's a good distance, you know.
it's right in there. Yeah, I mean, CNU's like an hour 20 minutes.
Yeah.
So that's not bad.
That's not bad.
That's
no.
where she is. But yeah, no, it's I mean, you're free to come back on weekends, but they will tell you like stay away from your family as much as you can. So you like get oriented.
Don't bring your car the first year. That's always the I know.
I
Don't
tried
make
to
Those
talk
places
my
don't even
daughter
let
out
you.
of
Don't-
She
you don't
did
need it. You don't
She's
need it.
already gotten towed once. But
Yeah.
it was cheap.
You're also up I-95. You're not going to want to be doing that drive very much.
Yeah.
We'll see.
You're going to be busy with field hockey too. It's not going to be like
That's true.
regular college. You're going to be a student athlete.
That's
you have
true.
so much
and
to do.
my family, they'll come watch.
Absolutely.
So I'll get to see them
we'll
all
come
the time.
to you
Yeah.
for sure.
All right, Coach. So you guys are going to win the state championship if what happens?
Yes. If we are locked in, if we continue on the path that we've been doing and playing at, I think, like you said, chemistry is a big thing. Verbal and nonverbal communication on and off the field or on the field is huge. And right now, resting our bodies is also just as important. And I think a lot
your
of
voices.
and our voices. Yeah. Like a lot of coaches are really preparing for these upcoming games or regionals. And we kind of get in the habit of like, what can we drill and like really be intense with it. But I think also treating our bodies important is like really important too. Having 3 games back to back, we need that time to also rest. And people are sick, like, our captains.
I
So
was gonna say, get your,
yeah.
get your chest rest up.
We gotta
Rest
take
up,
care of
drink
ourselves.
some tea. Have those
Yeah.
like where there's original things are good for your throat.
That
The
grandparents
Ludens
eat?
aren't really good, but yeah,
Yeah.
the Ricola.
Oh yes. Those are good
Plus,
ones.
you might
up
see
on those.
Cosby again, right?
Yes.
So are you? How are you different now when you lost
Exactly.
Kuduan to that? I
Yeah.
guess you'll find out.
So I'm interested. We've talked about this with our players and other people, but if I were to play them now, having not played them as our very first game, would the outcome be the same?
yeah.
And I don't know. And to lose on a stroke in overtime was like that was the killer. So
Yeah.
it was first to score and they got a stroke. So it's like that free hit, basically.
I think the outcome will be different.
It will be.
Our team has
different.
developed so much from like the first game that we've played, and like the communication and like the chemistry has grown so much even since that first game that I have confidence.
It'll be fun to see.
Well, guys, we appreciate you being part of the Sportswire Spotlight.
you.
Continued success to the Glen Allen Field Hockey Program, to you on the field as well. Great luck at Mary Washington, and don't forget what you're doing for a lot of the kids here and in the walls of Glen Allen High School itself. Obviously, it means a lot to them, so that's really special. That's cool. That's really cool. And we
Yeah.
appreciate everybody watching this next episode of the Sportswire Spotlight. We may be at your high school next episode.